Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand new Vampire the Masquerade Elder Chronicle Echoes of Blood. This is Prologue 4, Bastard of the Crown, which, not that I ever get monetization, but I'm definitely not for the title of this episode. So let's meet our bastard player, Luna.
Wow, that's me. Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Twitch, where I stream. You've probably seen me play a vampire time or two around this channel, but this time zone, I'll be playing one Elvira Perez de Lara.
As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade actual play. Over our safety and consent, please check in with yourselves, as your well-being is important to the two of us who are playing. All the content warnings will be down in the description below. So if you are ready, Elvira, let's begin your vampire story. We open our scene in 1183, when you are roughly 16 years old, inside the convent of Santa Vela, a hilltop monastery near Burgos. Amongst the stone, creeping ivy, cold cells, and candlelight are Las Hermanas de la Sangre Silente, an order of nuns that tend the sick, the orphaned, and the discarded daughters of nobility. Elvira, you're sitting this afternoon beneath the portico in the garden cloister, a tattered psalter or book of psalms in your lap. Stone beneath you is cold. Perhaps you feel it more because you are barely afforded appropriate clothing for the altitude, but you are a bastard, and a female bastard at that, so you take what you can get. Your eyes move across the Latin script with practiced ease, your lips moving in silence, a habit the nuns have never been able to instruct out of you. "The bastard reads faster than she prays," comes a voice, laced with sweetness and poison in equal measure. As you look up, you see Teresa de Haro, a dark-eyed and fox-faced woman, leaned against a pillar with her ever-present shadow, Inés de Frias, giggling behind her hand. Both are daughters of minor nobles, illegitimate like you, but acknowledged and smug in their tenuous placement within the court they will no doubt soon return to. "Careful, Teresa," Inés says. "You do not want to make the bastard cry."
Elvira stops what she's doing, but does not look up. She contemplates for a moment saying something, but thinks better of it. She knows that it's better to turn the other cheek, and honestly, these girls mean nothing to her. Elvira knows she will get her due in due time.
So your response to the bullying is to ignore it entirely. Do you continue to read? Do you stop reading? Do you go somewhere else in the garden to continue reading, or do you just pretend as if they do not exist?
Elvira would she would start to collect her things and start to rise.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going, Elvira? Aren't you going to read us more of your psalms out loud this time, perhaps?
It's only important if God can hear me.
So pious, are you going to take the cloth?
What business is that of yours?
You are right, Inés says. It is no business of ours, for you are illegitimate after all.
So are you?
But we are acknowledged illegitimate. But illegitimate and unacknowledged, I suppose there is no place for you except here in this convent until you die.
Well, hopefully I will die in a quiet place where I won't hear you speaking. Buenos dias.
Before too long, as you leave and move to another part of the garden cloister, you hear a ringing of a bell, and it is, of course, Sister Augustina. She's ancient and silent, ringing her chime for Vespers. And Teresa and Inés, as they walk by you to go into the church to say their Our Fathers and give their confession, they say, "That is your future, Elvira. Look at her, weathered and aged and silent."
Say nothing. Does not matter what they think.
You follow in behind them. Later that night, Elvira, you're scrubbing chalices in the sacristy. The cold water numbs your fingers, but you can take satisfaction in the silver gleam that eventually appears beneath the grime. This menial work lets your mind drift. What do you think about while you do this, Elvira? Do you think about the other noble girls who bully you? Teresa and Inez are not the only ones. Do you think about the life you would have had you been born from legitimate loins? Or do you dream of freedom, of a life away from the Iberian Peninsula?
In this moment, Elvira is when she's alone that she starts to let everything sink in. The bullying, the illegitimacy of her birth. She tries to steel herself and not let it break her down. But she'd be a liar if she didn't say it didn't affect her.
As you dry your hands and think about what could have been, I suppose, maybe even muse at what could change in the future.
Mm-hmm.
The door to this room creaks slightly, and you turn to see Diego, your half-brother and the legitimate heir to the throne of Castile. He's standing in the doorway. He's cloaked in green, a pill of Castilian heraldry glinting on his collar. His hair is dark like yours. His jaw, though, is just a little bit sharper than yours. You haven't seen each other in a few years. Diego is only 4 years your senior, but every time he has shown up in your presence, it becomes ever more apparent that the madness known to course through royal bloodlines across Europe has claimed your half-brother. "Little dove," he says softly as he enters into the room.
Elvira tenses, but forces a smile. Hola, brother.
See, he closes the door. You can see he has arrived with a small entourage, no doubt under the guise of a religious pilgrimage of some kind. And he says, "It has been so long since you have written. I was getting concerned."
My duties here have been arduous and time-consuming. No time to write.
He steps closer to you. He smells of oiled leather and vetiver, just like a French perfume. He smells of court life, cavalry. And he says, "I think of you often, more often than I should." And he reaches out and he touches your hair. "Do you think about me even when you don't have time to write to me?"
Of course I do, brother.
Then you should find the time to write.
See, of course.
I can't come all this way out here all the time. Your place isn't here anyway, Elvira. It's not here in Burgos. It's with me in Toledo at court. You know that, don't you?
For once, she does not lie to her brother. Of course. That's where I belong.
Steps even closer to you in a very uncomfortable proximity, and you get the feeling that he's going to kiss you, but he stops himself and sort of shudders, bends down far away from you and kisses your hand, and he says, "It won't be long until I collect you, and we will return to court triumphant. See?"
See.
And he steps one pace away from you, bows deeply, and leaves the sacristy without another word.
As soon as he leaves, Elvira shudders. She should be used to this by now, but it never gets easier.
No, and what's worse than that, Elvira, is that you have very little power to do anything to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gone for the moment anyway. So you finish your chores, and finally you're able to lay your head down to sleep just before the sunrise. Of course, you have to get up in a few hours to continue on with your lessons, with prayer, and all the other things you have to do at the monastery. You look out the window of your room before you actually lay down, and from the darkness, for just a moment, you see a figure dressed in white and bronze, watching you from beneath the grove's arching boughs.
She would get closer to the window to see.
So you maybe get some of your books to stand on to be a little bit taller so you can see out a little bit farther. As you do that, you look out again. The figure is gone.
Shakes her head, blinks a couple times. Seeing things. I'm tired.
You are tired. You lay down and you know that tomorrow will be another peaceful day, as peaceful as you can ask for here. But these times of peace are not going to last, Elvira. There's no way they can when two religions, as similar as they may be, seek to dominate not only the land, but the culture. In less than a year, your father's army prepares to besiege Cuenca, the nearby countryside. And it's being ravaged right now by skirmishes between Almohad, which is the Moorish concentration nearby, and the local Christian militia. The monastery you reside at becomes a temporary stronghold for the Castilian garrison and essentially a field hospital. Refugees pour in, wounded soldiers, displaced peasants, and Moorish captives. The garden of the monastery where you were reading your psalms and Teresa and Inez were bullying you has now become a barricade of carts and broken statues. You see smoke billowing over from some distant fight somewhere, and crows are gathering in what ground remains visible in the garden. You're seeing the horror of battle for the first time, Elvira. Wounded men scream in Latin, Arabic, and tongues in between. The incense that you've grown so accustomed to here in the monastery is now mixed with their blood and their sweat. And you know that most of the noble girls, along with the blind and mute Sister Augustina, are tending to the injured, assisting with triage and prayer. You also know that one of your father's commanders, Don Mateo, has lost most of his troops and noble banners, and that he's desperately seeking anyone who knows the area well enough to help him oversee defense planning. And of course, you also know there's a prisoner Don Mateo arrived with, a Moorish man, also heavily wounded, but he's confined to a cell. He needs not only food and probably water and some medical attention, but he may perhaps know the troop movement of his fellow soldiers, of the Moorish incursion that you are caught in between. In this situation, what does Elvira do? Which of these paths does she choose to focus on?
All of this is hard for her to make a decision such as this so quickly. It takes contemplation, though she doesn't have the time for that. Not really. Mm-hmm. She knows that her service to God would ask her to tend to the wounded, even to the prisoner. Mm-hmm. However, she wants nothing more than to be acknowledged by her father. Mm-hmm. And perhaps the fastest way to do that would be to help her father's commander.
So your decision is to go find Don Mateo. Now, you've lived in this monastery for as long as you can remember. The actual age you came here is you were between the ages of 5 and 7, but you really don't remember life before it.
Mm-hmm. She will choose her own ambitions in this moment.
All right. So, Don Mateo is in the Mother Supreme's office at the moment that has been converted into essentially a war room. You see many maps that are laid out. You also see small rocks are being used to symbolize troop placement and movement and things like that. And Don Mateo is alone in this room. His commanders have fallen to the skirmishes, and he is just talking to himself. He is attempting to map out this land that he knows very little about.
Elvira stands in the doorway, not quite knowing how to introduce herself and insert herself into this moment. She's been taught to only speak when spoken to. Mm-hmm. But she'll clear her throat and just attempt to get his attention.
He looks up and he says, "I have no need for water or wine, thank you."
No, but you need a layout of the land, see?
His eyes hold on you for just a moment. You are an initiate. You are not dressed like a nun.
You know my father. I am Elvira Perez de Lara.
He sort of leans back, cracks his neck. Yes, I am aware of you. I wasn't aware this was the monastery he sent you to.
See, I could help you if you require it.
You could help me with what exactly?
Take a few steps forward and look over the map. Perhaps map out the area so your troops have a better idea of where to go.
Are you saying that the good sisters here let you out of the monastery long enough for you to know the area this well?
I have an eidetic memory.
Eidetic? Well, I see that they are at least teaching you your Latin. He points somewhere on the map. He says, this ridge, is it actually there?
No, it is not.
He points to another part of the map. This part here is missing. What is here? And you would know that there is a ravine.
A ravine.
He hands you a piece of lead. Draw it.
And I will, obediently.
Begin sketching over parts of the map. You sketch them correctly. He watches you as you do this. He sort of walks around the rectangular table that's in this room as you do so. And he sees you place down another ridge, and he points. This ridge here. This one is actually there.
See.
Could send High Guard, could do it that way. There's a prisoner downstairs in the cell. I need to know where the rest of his troops are. He won't talk. I could torture him, but in my years I have learned that torture sometimes only gets you the information you want to hear. Perhaps, and he sort of leans down on the table, and he's a very bulky man. He's maybe in his late 30s, early 40s. The table sort of cracks a little under his weight. Perhaps someone with a hint of innocence and femininity could coax the information out of him easier.
Elvidus fights back a smirk. I could get this information for you.
Indeed. Get me the information, bring it here. And you may have won us this battle, Senorita Perez.
He bows and excuses herself and heads down to the prison.
It's important for me to note here that he does not refer to you as Doña, which would be lady. He does not, even in this moment where you are assisting him and where lives are on the line and perhaps even the Reconquista is on the line here for this particular skirmish, he still does not acknowledge you as the child of King Alfonso.
To be expected. It was a fool's dream to think it would be otherwise.
All right. So you head down to the prison. There are many prisoners here, but one of them is the one that came with Don Mateo. He is separated from everyone. And he sits there. He's bloody. He's laying flat on his back. There's no straw for him to lay on. There's no water in here, no food, nothing. You hear the groans of the men. They reach out through the bars of their cells, asking in Arabic, which is a language you do know, asking for water, asking for food, asking for medicine. Do you say anything to these men, or do you head right towards the prisoner that Don Mateo came with?
A part of her wants to help everybody, but again, her ambitions take hold and she just heads towards her quarry, her target.
Okay. As I said, he's laying flat down on the ground. He's breathing, panting rather heavily. He's holding in his side where he has been stabbed with what looks like a spear. And he just says, they sent a pretty little angel, Christian angel, to kill me. How nice.
I am not here to kill you.
No? I see
No.
you come with no food and no water and no medicine, so what? You want to talk?
I do. However, I do want to bring you food and water and medicine. I was assessing what you needed, first and foremost.
Well, if you cannot tell, and he sort of jerks his head up to where he cannot see but can hear his men, we are in quite some state of need, my lady.
See? Tell me, would, water, of course, but would you like something else, perhaps wine?
No. We do not drink.
Of course. She falls silent for a moment, lets these words hang in the air before saying, would you like to leave?
To your gallows, perhaps. Leave where?
Well, perhaps if you tell me the movements of your troops, I could arrange something.
He starts laughing on the floor, but stops short, holding in his side. You see a bit of his insides seep out through his fingertips. Oh, that's what you're asking. Well, if you can't tell, my lady, I won't make it very far anywhere in this rough, patchy terrain that you call Burgos.
No, but I could end your misery. So you don't die in pain.
Is that something your Christian God approves of?
Is something that I don't think anybody deserves to die in misery.
Painfully pulls himself up, grabs onto the bars to do so. You know, your Jesus Christ is a prophet to us as well.
So I have heard.
We are not so different, but I do not think that when I die of this spear wound, I will be coming back as you believe that he did.
Well, when the resurrection comes, it will be different.
Oh, I'm sure. My lady, if I told you the movements of my soldiers, my fellow men in arms, surely they will be put to death by the sword. Surely we will all be put to death by the sword either way. So why not let me give them a fighting chance?
Again, her morals, her empathy starts to take hold. She knows he's right, but again, her duty to God, to her father's men, herself and her ambitions, she fights to shake her head. Would you rather die swiftly, without pain or suffering, so you can meet your God faster?
I think anyone would want that.
Well,
but what you are asking me for is to condemn my men. You must offer me something else, if you truly wish it, because I'm going to die either way, my lady.
What is it you wish? I could send word to your family.
I will hold you to your honor, your Christian morals that I hear so much about. I tell you where my men are. You go, you warn them.
So they have a fighting chance.
Indeed.
I can do this.
I am holding it to you and your God that you will do as you say.
With God as my witness.
They are in a small ravine. They are waiting for word. to attack the monastery. The word will never come because I am here. However, it's only a matter of time before the Castilians send for reinforcements from Toledo and find them anyway.
She nods, taking in the information.
Do what your morality tells you is right. And he lays back down on the floor.
She looks down at him in pity before simply turning on heel and heading to her next task.
Well, the question becomes, Elvira, do you sneak out of the monastery, go to the ravine, and warn the troops? Now, this is a dangerous task to be taken as a woman. There's no guarantee that you would survive such a task. He didn't give you a safe word. He didn't give you anything to indicate that you are an ally and not an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you return to Don Mateo and tell them where they are?
Mm. She stops in the middle of the monastery and heavily considers her options. It would be incredibly dangerous, though she did make an oath. And if she has her word, if she does not have her word, she has nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She looks back towards the direction where Don Mateo is. Looks back towards the doors that lead out of the monastery and heads out.
All right. Is there anything that you do to prepare going? As I already mentioned, you look very much like a Spanish princess. Is there anything, perhaps, as disgusting as this sounds, taking some of the clothing from some of the fallen Moorish warriors and donning them yourself? Gender bending in the 12th century, if you will.
See, I think she would do this to guarantee her safety even a little bit, as much as she possibly can.
Okay. You wrap up your hair. You wear their linen robes. It's covered in blood and gore because they have died of their wounds. You undress him. It feels very sacrilegious to do this. He is not cleaned or anything. And to mention you're 16 years old. You head outside. As I said, it's getting late, dark. You grab one of the horses that made its way to the monastery that belonged to one of the Moorish warriors. You ride it to the ravine. You know exactly where it is. And eventually you see, as you ride down, you see the very small amount of troops waiting here. And it's almost disappointing in a way, because you know that even if they had been able to receive a signal to attack the monastery, their force was so incredibly small that even the wounded Castilian force outnumbers them 2-1. And many of them who are waiting here are young boys, barely older than you. They see you approaching and they start yelling at you in Arabic. Again, you do speak this language. You have learned it at the monastery. They start yelling at you, asking who you are.
She'll stop a few paces away and dismount from the horse before putting her hands up as a sign of peace, coming in peace.
They pull you down from your horse rather roughly, and they take your horse.
That's fine. She starts to... She doesn't say anything at first, not wanting to provoke them. She says, I have word from one of your men.
They all look to each other. Speak.
The monastery is not safe to attack. You are outnumbered 2-1, and they know where you are.
Begin murmuring to each other in a dialect that you don't know. Then they turn to you. And the command is to what? To flee.
There is no command. There is only helpful advice.
A few of them sheathe their swords, seeming resolved to leave this battle to declare themselves the losers and not the victors, at least this time. Some of them don't. Some of them don't even make any move to grab their own things or their horses. One of them, the one who grabbed you, though, does let you go and says, I thank you.
There is no need to thank me.
Allah Muhalladim.
Go with God.
And they release your horse as well. Now the question becomes, you would have been gone longer than Don Mateo would have sent you to, and you have to change before going to see Don Mateo. Do you still go to Don Mateo to tell him where they are?
Hoping that they take her advice. She will return to Don Mateo after changing.
Mm-hmm.
And wait again in the doorway, waiting to be spoken to.
As soon as he sees you in the doorway, he does wave you over. Well, that was a prolonged conversation with our prisoner.
I also, to get them to talk, I fed the other prisoners. It took a minute.
All right.
I know where they are, though he said because they know they're outnumbered, they are likely to disperse anyway and retreat.
Where are they, Senorita?
And again, hoping they took her advice, she'll point to the map, the honest location.
Don Mateo turns to the small opening here in the in the room that serves as a window, and he shouts down to some of his guardsmen who are not injured and are actively guarding the monastery. He shouts down to have their horses watered and ready and saddled. And he says, "Thank you."
She bows. Is there something that I might ask of you?
I suppose it is fitting.
An audience with my father.
You're asking a general who is a hair's breadth away from losing a minor skirmish and has lost bannermen of the king to approach him and ask to see his illegitimate, unacknowledged daughter. Do I have that correct?
Who else would I ask?
And he sort of rolls his eyes. Your brother.
She was hoping he wouldn't say that, but she bows. Says, of course.
As you turn to walk away, he grabs you, not roughly by the elbow, but enough to make you stop. Using your brother's fancy to your advantage is maybe your only ticket out of this place and out of this life your father has decided for you.
In a rare moment of vulnerability, her face drops and she looks to him with these, dare I say, sorrowful eyes and says, I know. I was hoping it wouldn't come to that.
Out of a pouch that he has on his belt, he's wearing chainmail armor, but he has a leather pouch on his belt. He pulls something out and he puts it in your hands. I'm not really in the mood right now, nor do I have the time to answer many questions about why I have this. Perhaps if you do make it to court, you can ask me then. And if your father does not banish me for the absolute, and pardon my language, fuck up of this military excursion.
She looks down at the item.
It is a necklace. A pendant. It is inscribed in Kufic script, which is a dialect of Arabic, specifically to the Iberian region. This belonged to your mother.
She is bewildered.
Now, you've never heard anything about who your mother was. You assumed some servant in the castle as the old story.
Right. She looks down at it and looks back up at Don Mateo with so many questions, but holds them back and nods. Thank you.
Senorita. And he turns around and begins gathering things that he needs to take to go disperse the militia in the ravine.
She goes, and she clutches the necklace close, almost unconsciously.
Sometime later, Elvira, when the war, this battle rather, is officially finished, but of course the scars of it remain, you're walking alone among the newly dug graves outside the monastery. Some of them are still being dug. It's very late. You should be in bed, but you can't sleep. And thinking about, as strange and twisted as it sounds, what occurred when the Castilian military were at the monastery is maybe the most exciting thing that's ever happened in your entire life. And you hate that you keep thinking that as you walk around these graves, because look at what it has done. The lives lost. You feel a presence just to your back.
She will turn, expecting to be given instruction from somebody.
You expect to see a sister telling you to go to bed?
Yes.
You don't see one of the sisters of the monastery, but you do see that figure you saw outside your window. What feels like a lifetime ago now, although it was maybe like a year ago. She's fully visible now to you. She's leaning against a burned olive tree. Her arms are folded. She's tall, very regal looking. She has deep brown skin, piercing dark eyes, and very sharp features that absolutely command your attention right to her face. Her hair is wrapped, linen wrappings, and the wrapping itself is adorned with silver embroidery that has stars, blades, and Quranic verses. You chose to adhere to your convictions. That will be remembered.
By whom? Exactly.
She doesn't say anything. She walks behind the olive tree, and you don't see her walk out the other side.
She'll go behind the tree, look around, look up, and cross herself.
Indeed.
And quickly go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Almost like you're being visited by a ghost. We move our scene to several years later at the royal court of Toledo in the late 12th century, under the rule of your father still, King Alfonso VIII of Castile. This is a place of grandeur, Elvira, artifice, dangerous ambition, a convergence of culture, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, each represented in architecture, custom, and politics. The city itself is a fortress of stone perched above the Tagus River. It's an imposing palace of Visigoth origins, reshaped by Moorish hands, and then later reinforced by Christian masons. Arches bear Arabic calligraphy, while chapels overflow with Catholic saints and relics. Lords and ladies from Leon, Navarra, and Castile rub shoulders with visiting envoys from Aragon and distant France. The garments are silks embroidered with family crests and intricate beadwork. At court, even though priests warn of opulence and Jewish scholars serve as royal advisors and Muslim physicians tend to noble wounds, it is the bastards like you, Elvira, who are exotic curiosities, tolerated, but never respected. The only thing that might garner respect is that you are on the arm of your legitimate half-brother, the heir to the throne, Don Diego de Castilla, who presents you formally and lavishly to the court, and as the nobility bow slightly to your presence, your brother whispers in your ear, "Stay close to me, sister, and I will make them forget you were ever born from a goat-stained bed."
He bites back a disdained look and smiles at him and says, Of course, brother. I appreciate it.
He smiles broadly as he leads you down a staircase and down onto the main part of this court. He claps in order for music to begin playing, and he sort of gestures around for everyone to begin dancing. Your father is not present at the court, and rarely is. He prefers his time away as he says in prayer, but of course you know he is attending to many of his mistresses. And he holds his hand out to you as he would like to dance.
With a smile and every bit of fake willingness, will take his hand and dance with him.
You do. You dance together with these other lords and ladies. You can feel their eyes on you, mixed with wonder, mixed with annoyance, mixed with other things you couldn't quite place in just the momentary glances you're receiving from them as your brother spins you around. And he pulls you close and he says, "You dance better than you let me believe, Hermana. What are they teaching you in that monastery? What else are you hiding from me?"
Kind of lean in a little closer. Well, brother, as the night moves forward, perhaps we will find out together.
He smiles at you, and as you are leaned in close to him, another said these dances are very often synchronized. They're, dances taught by instructors, by dance tutors that come from across Europe to different courts. And one of the other people on the dance floor, we'll call it, sort of gets very close to you, and you catch her eye, and she's looking at you in just disgust. And your brother catches it too, and he doesn't say anything to her, but he spins you and he pulls you in and he says, "Look at them, you're cleverer than they are. Better bred too, but only I'm brave enough to say it."
She lets out a giggle. Forced, of course, but practice.
"You're here because of my intervention. They should know this."
They should, and they should respect that.
"It's true. I think they only look at you that way because of the Moorish fire in your blood."
Perhaps they're just jealous. Secretly.
Again, he pulls you in. "I am jealous that we have not had all these years together as we should have, hermana."
As am I. Shouldn't have been stuffed away in that convent. I should have been here with you.
"Yes, as soon as father dies, we will change all of that because you belong beside me, not behind veils or walls."
See, and I'll cup his face. Couldn't agree more.
He removes your hands from his face as he moves you off of the dance floor as the dance comes to an end. And he says very matter-of-factly, "But of course, never in public."
Never. In public, you are just my brother, and I love you.
He smiles, very proud of himself. He leans you up against the wall, grabs a goblet of wine, and sort of leans into your ear. "Lay with me in the dark. You'll be my equal in the shadows. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, Elvira."
Her hand tightens into a fist, and as she holds back disgust and the tears, almost. But she smiles and says, "Just tell me when."
"Come to my chambers before dawn. If you do not, I will come to yours." And he takes the goblet and the single tear that ekes out of your eye, puts it into his own wine, drinks it down, before just shoving the empty goblet into the hands of a passing servant and walking back out onto the dance floor.
Hoping nobody is watching her, which nobody should be with him gone. She is invisible unless looked upon disgustedly. She puts her hand to her mouth and her other arm around her diaphragm and just lets out a quiet sob.
Mm-hmm. So you take a few minutes to compose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A servant is carrying a tray, but there's nothing on the tray but a book. Walks directly up to you and sort of holds the wooden tray out to you. And he says, "A gift, señorita, from a friend." And he speaks in an odd cadence.
From whom?
And he just repeats the words, "A gift, señorita, from a friend." His eyes are glazed over. You've never seen anyone look like this.
She'll not take her eyes off him, but take the book.
You notice the tray is strange, wooden. The trays here are made of precious metal, not wood.
She looks him up and down before taking the book and looking at the cover.
As soon as you take the book, he drops the tray, this circular wooden tray, and just walks away.
She kind of doesn't jump, but it's like, why would you do that? And looks to see if anyone is looking at her. When she notices they're not, she'll turn her attention to the book.
It is it's a religious tome. It seems to be a book of Quranic verses. Again, as I said, read Arabic, so you can read them. As you open it, there is something written in the first page of the ledger. And it says, "Follow the shadow past the gate." Now, that might seem cryptic to the average person, but you are extremely observant, and with your eidetic memory, you remember that in one of the outer gardens, there is the Arabic word for shadow. It's faded away now, since it's no longer, Toledo is in Moorish hands, but at one time, it was inscribed into the sandstone over the garden.
She'll follow this clue, making her way out to the garden.
Follow the trail to the outer garden, and as you walk past the symbol for the word shadow, passed through the gate, that woman is there again. The one you saw at the convent, looking exactly as she did 7 years ago. Even her outfit is the same.
Is you? You again? Are you shadowing me?
She does not answer your question. Instead, she asks you one. Would you spill the blood of your brother if it served justice, Elvira?
Her face drops. She becomes very serious, as if she wasn't already a very serious person, and says, "Why would you ask me that?"
You are smart, cunning, insightful. You know that if he ascends the throne, things will be worse than they already are. Does that sit right with your morality, Elvira?
She knows. She knows this. She's known this. She's just never been brave enough to say it out loud to anybody. Not even to herself. But when faced with it, she says, No. No, it does not.
Then
what can I do?
I ask you again. Would you spill the blood of your brother if it served justice?
She thinks back to only a few moments ago. And nods very slowly.
From somewhere you do not see, a dagger appears in her hand on a velvet pillow. She removes the dagger from the pillow. She holds the dagger in her left hand and the pillow in her right, and she says, "If you seek justice, Elvira, take the dagger. If you seek comfort, take him to your bed and be done with it."
She'll stand there staring at the items. It's only for a few moments, but it feels like an eternity. Contemplating such an impossible choice of spill her own blood. But eventually, she does take the dagger.
The velvet pillow disappears as quickly as it appeared, and the woman goes too.
Clutching the dagger, she looks around, frustrated that this woman keeps slipping away from her before she could get any real answers.
Mm-hmm.
But looking down at the dagger, she realizes her hand is shaking.
So the question becomes, Elvira, do you go to your brother's chambers, or do you not?
She does. She makes her way back inside, through the court, to his chambers, the whole time steeling herself, knowing that this is what she has to do. It's the only way to make sure there's no more unneeded suffering for anybody else, much less herself.
Well, your brother was never going to fulfill his promise of coming to your chambers if you didn't come to his. He apparently has spent the entire time drinking, and he's passed out at the moment, half undressed, on his very lavish royal bed, snoring away as you enter.
She stares at him, almost hoping to find qualities that would spare his life. But none come. She inches closer. Every step she takes is a journey in and of itself. She knows that this is a sin, but what greater sin than, again, letting a tyrant rule, and who knows what would follow.
So the question becomes, Elvira, as you hold the knife above your sleeping brother, do you kill him or not?
She does.
Where do you plunge it down into?
His heart.
As you plunge it down, gurgles, his eyes shoot open, he tries to sit up, he tries to reach out for you. And he does manage to reach out for you for a moment. He grabs onto your hand, onto your dress, onto your hair. Can't speak, he's too in shock, but you see the look in his eye. He's desperately asking for help. He's asking why. He's scared. Do you say anything to him?
Go with God. Rest. She's crying.
Do you leave the dagger in there, or do you remove it?
She removes it, feeling as though it's going to be an important item to keep. Secret, of course, but something to hold on to. A reminder.
Where do you go after this, Elvira?
To the shadow.
Back to the gardens.
Yes.
Do you take the dagger with you?
Hidden in her sleeve.
All right. You head back out. You leave back down to the gardens, making sure you didn't leave a trail of blood or anything like that behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to where you saw the woman. You don't see her there anywhere.
Looking around, she calls out, "I did what you asked."
From behind you, right behind your ear, you hear her voice. And so you did, Elvira. You have made your decision. She bites into your neck. It's shock at first. You wonder if this is how Diego felt when you pierced his heart. But eventually, this doesn't hurt. This feels wonderful. And you think you're dying. That this is a last euphoric burst before you die, and maybe you deserve to. You are a kinslayer now. But as this woman removes her fangs from your neck, you feel yourself fading. She says, "Now drink, and never crawl underfoot of weak men again." She presses her wrist to your lips.
With such a command, she drinks greedily. Promise of freedom.
We move almost 200 years into the future, Elvira, to the city of Saragossa in the Kingdom of Aragon. You've tracked your target, a rogue La Sombra named Esteban, known to trade stolen kindred secrets for occult power. Your instructions from your sire, Fatima al-Fakadi, are clear. Eliminate Esteban quietly, retrieve any stolen knowledge, and leave no trace of kindred involvement. You found him inside a crumbling villa. You watch him now lounging in a peacock chair of worn velvet. A mortal girl is dancing for him clumsily in silk veils. You've blended into the crowd of these women of pleasure, and you overhear Esteban say, "De Tramir pay in spells and silver, Leon. You think our Sabbat brethren can match that? Bah! They'll eat their own feet before they pay proper tribute." And then Esteban stiffens. His beast snarls. He stands, suddenly alert. You think he knows you're in this room. What would you like to do?
Let's simply vanish away.
Okay. Go ahead and roll intelligence and stealth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13. Yeah. So as he stands up and his beast snarls and he's suddenly alert, you vanish from his eyes. He doesn't see it. He doesn't perceive it. It's like as if you were never here. And his friend who's with him is Leon. He starts laughing at him and he says, "Esteban, come, you are just hungry, my friend. There's so much pleasure to be had here." And you watch him grab one of these women and just begin feasting on her. Now, he doesn't stop feasting on her. He drinks her until she is dead. And he drinks her viciously and quickly. It's very Now, not that the Masquerade is a thing yet, but still, there is some sort of unspoken rule that you don't just murder in public.
No, this is absolutely against how Elvira kind of wishes Kindred to treat mortals.
Mm-hmm.
From the kind of a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Get a mortal's attention, a girl's attention.
So you're going to drop your banish?
Yes.
Okay.
But out of line of sight while he's distracted or preoccupied.
The girl sees you, and she sees the way that you're dressed. You're not dressed. How are you dressed? I imagine you're not dressed like a brothel worker, and I imagine you're not dressed like a noble woman.
No, definitely not. She is dressed more in darker colors and very what could be considered utilitarian in this time. Very simple,
lot of leathers.
A lot of leathers, yes.
Mm-hmm. The girl looks at you very strangely and sees you making eyes at her, and she's not entirely sure what she's supposed to be doing or who you are or what you are.
I'll just beckon her to come towards me. Try to look as non-threatening as possible.
She comes very sheepishly, but doesn't get that close to you. And she says, "See?
How do these men treat you?"
The men treat me, they treat all women, you know."
I know. Would you like to help me make them treat you better?
I'm sorry. Lo siento, I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand.
Looking past her, just making sure he's still preoccupied. I know how they treat you. I know it's not right, and it's not fair, and I believe your friend there is not long for this world. So, if you would like to stop that, then help me.
Roll me charisma persuasion.
6.
Okay. She nods her head and she says, "See, Senora, I will help you."
Gracias. And I'll kind of reach out for her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Pull her a little closer. And I will use, let's see, quicken the mortal's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion's touch.
You mean Ball's Cross?
Ball's Cross, yes.
Puts it in someone else. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then you said Rapture's touch as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you don't have to touch her to do that. If you're already touching her, you don't need to use Rapture's touch. So you're already touching her.
Then.
So roll me stamina and occult. Difficulty 6.
Okay. Let's do that.
And this is going to have to be quick because that Ball's Crest is going to start making her ill.
Oh no. Sorry. It's for the greater good, right?
I'm a vampire. And I'm not on the path of humanity.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 successes.
15 successes, yes. Spend me 2 blood points. 15 successes, it does work beautifully. You touch her, and you impart through touch your blood to her blood. You turn the blood in your own undead body acidic, and you pass it through the membrane of her skin right into her bloodstream.
Quickly now, go over to that man, and I'll point to my target, and kiss him.
She nods, and she goes over to Esteban, and she begins kissing him. And he sort of is like, nah, okay. And he begins kissing down her neck, though, and he's like, I really don't want to kiss you, but I'll kiss you like this. And he begins to feed on her. And as he does, he stands up immediately, tosses her to the ground, sort of rolls her back to the ground, and Leon, who's still in the middle of his feeding, doesn't really notice or care what's going on with him. And Esteban walks out of the room. He's retching. That blood that was inside of her starts coming up. And he walks quickly out into the corridor to begin at least pretending to throw up. He's actually vomiting blood.
I will quietly follow him.
Quietly follow him. He's sort of holding himself up, and just all of this blood that he drank from this woman is just painting the walls out here.
I will shut the door and bar it, like kind of stand in front of it. And just say, not to your taste.
He turns and he looks at you. Some of the blood that he's projectile vomiting sprays you in the face. And he says, who are you?
Who I am does not matter. What matters is those secrets. You will die soon. You may as well tell me. Where are they?
Fucking Asimite. You don't know who I serve.
It's of no consequence to me who you serve.
I think so. He is the ruler of this kingdom. No, he's not the king who sits upon the throne. He is the man behind it. Ambrosio Luis Monsada.
Does that name ring a bell to me?
Yes. You know him to be a very old and powerful Lasombra. You also know that he is the sire of your sire's paramour, Lucita de Aragon. Lucita de Aragon's family is the ruler of Aragon.
She will, her face will not betray her as she takes in this information. And she'll say, well, I doubt you'll be missed. Again. You and your clan have no idea what's coming.
The world is going to change, and you need to change with it. Or become dust, just like the old ones.
When change comes, we will face it. That's not what I'm concerned with right now.
And you will be left behind, devoured.
I'll pull out my daggers. Not really expressing anything, just getting a little annoyed. Just wanting this to be over. And I'll take a step towards him. I'll say, this could be quick or it could be painful.
And he spits more blood in your face. It's already painful.
Would you like it to be quick in that case?
And that's when the shadows around you begin to coalesce behind him. And you see that he shoots out 2 tendrils of shadow to grab onto your arms that have your daggers. You may act quickly.
Use celerity to kind of duck out of the way, and if I'm remembering how celerity works, duck. I could take 2 actions. Yeah, I'll duck out of the way.
As many dots as you have. Yeah, 2 actions.
So 2, and then kind of quickly run over to him and press him against the wall with the dagger to his neck.
Okay, so make me dexterity and athletics. You don't have any dots in athletics, but make me dexterity, just straight dexterity.
9.
9 successes. Yes, very quickly you move around him. The shadows don't go anywhere. They sort of connect with the wall, and you're behind him. You sort of flip him over so his face and front of him is against the wall. What would you like to say?
I'll start to press the dagger in, just to invoke a little bit of pain. And I'll say those secrets now.
No. And you feel him begin to dissipate under your hands. He's moving into shadow.
You know what? I will do my favorite merit of all time ever and invoke common sense to see what I can do to not lose sight of him, not let him slip away in this moment.
Not let him slip away. Well, you don't have anything that counteracts obtenebration directly, unfortunately. Following him into the shadow, you don't know what would happen. You would definitely be out of your element and on his playing field. The suggestion would be to either kill him or let him go and track him again. The difference is you would lose the element of surprise because he would expect you at some point.
Do I know if the secrets lie with him or if he has like artifacts?
Well, he did have a friend.
Right. In that case, I was thinking the same thing. I will quickly stab him in the neck, and with the other dagger stab him in the spine. See if I could kill him before he's able to...
Okay, so to kill a vampire, you need to chop off their head. Or burn them. One or the other. You'll garrote him, or you'll coup de grace. Alright, so I need strength and, my goodness, melee. And you get a specialty, so add an extra die for this. Yay! It's a called shot, so the difficulty is quite high. 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, I needed 10 successes. 10 successes, you do successfully chop off his head. Or rather, you take your twin daggers and make scissors and chop off his head that way. And he falls through his oblivion portal as his head rolls out onto the floor. His body leaves wherever the hell it goes, wherever the hell that black void goes to, and his head remains here and very quickly starts turning into dust. That's when you hear a yell from behind you. You turn around, you expect to see one of the mortals, but it's not. It's his friend Leon. His mouth is still covered in blood, and he made a very sheepish yell. You can tell now, immediately, that he is quite young.
You kind of kick the head that's falling apart towards him, leaving a trail of dust along the floor.
And the way he grabs it and sort of chucks it away from himself, you can tell he's a Toreador.
Not to your liking, too dirty.
Why? Why? The hell did you do that? Poor Esteban.
Poor. He was hoarding secrets I am in need of. Do you know what they were?
Was this a bad deal, the Blood Witch that sold him the secrets? Is this a bad deal? And you are back to get them back?
Yes.
He sold them. He sold them to the others. The ones in the Holy Roman Empire. The ones who are binding bone to stone, or something like that. He kept saying they're binding bone to stone. And he said he went to the land of broken tongues, and that's just a joke that he always said, because in my language, the word for the language of the Holy Roman Empire means broken tongue. It's a joke. You don't seem like you like jokes, though.
Her face unflinching. She says, do these others have names?
I don't know their names. I just know the name of the place that they're... Oh god, I don't even know. Their gathering place, where they operate out of. I just know that place. I thought all of you Blood Witches were, like, you know, best bosom buddies or something.
You would think that.
Oh, don't you all serve that one guy at the top?
What I do is of no concern to you. You are answering my questions.
Right, I don't want to lose my head. It's called the Collegium Hermeticum Effortensis. Got all that? It's Latin.
Thank you. And with that, I believe that's everything that could be ascertained from this if he sold the secrets and they died with them, so... the only thing left to do is to leave.
So you leave him alive?
I think what she would do is she would start to walk towards him, and she's gonna walk past him, but then quickly push him against the wall with one arm, and just quietly say to him, "You will never speak of this. Your friend suffered a horrible accident. And if anything else should get out, I will find you. And you will also become dust."
You're not a blood witch, are you? You don't talk like they do? But you do talk like the person he bought the secrets from. Oh, now it's all coming together. He took secrets from you people, whoever you are, and sold them to the blood witches. Who are you?
Push a little harder. Not your concern.
Okay, but you definitely have someone in your ranks who's selling your secrets.
Thank you for the information. And I'll just kind of push off of him. And leave.
Fatima is at the moment in another incursion in the Iberian Peninsula, and you know she's been called back to Alamut. So you are alone essentially. And now you're not alone, as in there is no other Assamites operating here, but the bulk of Assamites do not operate outside of Muslim lands because it is dangerous for them. You're not welcome here. You're treated as someone other. You're treated as someone who's a stranger, someone who is different from the rest of the Western vampires, and they treat you different. So you're alone here, and you have to do things on your own. You report back to Fatima when you can. There are sort of middle-aged drop boxes. There's birds that you can send back to Alamut with information, but that is also only in emergencies. You don't want those secrets getting out to anyone who might come across them. So you do leave some breadcrumbs for her, letting her know that you are headed to the Holy Roman Empire. Specifically, you find out about this collegium, and you find out it's in a place called Erfurt, right? In what is modern day Germany, but at the time was called the Holy Roman Empire, which was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. And you put on a disguise, as you've been so apt to do. In this pleasure house, you were just an unknown face in the crowd, but when you enter into modern-day Germany, you are a Castilian noblewoman, right? You are a widow, and you're fleeing the Moorish unrest. Of course, you need protection. You can't be there, those horrific Muslims, right? You need protection from the Christians. So, the Collegium receives you with reverence, your nobility, and that draws attention. And scholars crave patronage, and attention means money, and patronage means the college can stay open, right? Because we are not in the land of public universities, at least not everywhere, not at this time, especially not in Europe. So, they offer you staterooms at the college, and you happily throw gold as if money means anything to you. You happily throw gold into their hands just to leave you alone and don't bother you, and you're just a noblewoman who is interested in books and studying, and you just want to feel safe in a safe Christian land where no one will bother you. And they do. They're more than happy to accommodate you in any way that you like. And you also inform them that you do not like to be bothered during the day. So delicate are you that you cannot stand to be out in the sun. That would ruin your perfect alabaster skin, and you can't have that. So if you do any studying, you only want it at night. So the rooms must be remained open to you, so you can peruse the campus at night should you wish. And they are more than happy to accommodate that as well. So as you peruse the campus at night, it's very cloistered, it's very cold. It's nothing like the Iberian Peninsula where you grew up, where very balmy and warm even in the wintertime. Here it's very, very cold all the time. They're Romanesque halls. They're adorned with grimacing angels, frescoes of celestial spheres and humors. Tiny gargoyle statues are perched above every entrance. And you spend a lot of time here, always at night. Your delicate constitution and all. So what little learning you partake of can only be accommodated at night, right? And there is one person, however, who they have assigned to you. That's something you couldn't actually get around, because they want to make sure that you have everything you need. And so they have to sleep, right? And so, but there is a young student who's willing to forsake his daylight hours to be up with you at night, and his name is Sebastian Krug. And he is there. He arrives at your door for your nightly constitutional around the campus to investigate, trying to figure out where the hell these Tremere are in this campus, right? And he has brought you flowers tonight. And he has a manuscript in his hand for you. And when you open the door, he says, "You carry the stars behind your eyes, Donna. If I were your candle, I would burn gladly just to light your path."
Elvira takes on a much lighter tone in this disguise she has, and she says, "You are far too sweet for this world," and she'll accept the flowers.
"Yes, too sweet and too low-birthed to ever be noticed by someone as gracious as you, Madonna." And he's always called you Madonna. Now, you think maybe he's trying to say Doña, like from Spain, like a Don and a Doña, but you're not entirely sure, or if he's actually looking at you as if you are some sort of being to be worshipped, or some sort of holy figure, like Mary.
Every time Elvira hears that, that past when she lived in, when she was very Christian, just kind of comes back, shivers a little. Very strange to hear. But she always bites it back. And she says, "Well, shall we?"
"Yes, of course. I have brought you a manuscript, if you'd like to read it while we walk. I mean, I believe I have showed you every single bit of the campus, but I know you insist that I show you again, or show you things maybe I have forgotten. But I thought while we wait, while I look for the single corner of this place that I haven't shown you, I thought maybe perhaps you'd like to read while we walk."
She'll set the flowers kind of on the closest table, and then take the manuscript and open it, and just kind of skim it real quick.
Mm-hmm. Skim it real quick, you look at it, and you do see that there's something written in one of the margins as you sort of go like this through it. It's written in very, very light ink, and it looks like what had happened is there was a piece of parchment on top of it, and someone had written something, and it had leaked through. And what you read is, "Too docile. We'll try with a gangrel next."
Interesting. Well, she will close it back up then. Kind of clutch it and say, "I would like that, yes." And she'll kind of make to start walking.
Mm-hmm. You read the book so quickly. I can show you which room I took it from. It is, I mean, it's not a new room. I've been there many times, but it is a new book. I haven't seen that book in there. Someone put it in there in the last day or so. At least not in the daytime during the lectures. It wasn't in there, because I am always looking. It is my favorite section of the libraries. Bibliothek. Yes?
Yes, please show me. I would very much appreciate that. Perhaps there is something new we have not seen yet.
And he smiles brightly. "Of course, Madonna." And sort of picks up his pace a little bit and leads you, but always checks back, because, you are wearing heavy skirts and long skirts, and, don't actually have the flow that you've been used to for the last 200 years anymore. So you follow him to this library, and he shows you where he took the book from, and it's sort of just a open space here. You feel air coming from behind the bookshelf as you stick your hand in where the book was. There's a room behind this bookshelf. So you do what any normal person would do. You start removing all the books. You start pulling them all out of the bookshelf, and Sebastian looks very concerned. "Madonna, what are you doing? This is not. They will be the professors will be very upset. What are you doing? I'll have to put all this back."
"I will help you put all of it back if you could just keep this between us."
"Yes. Do you want me to help you then, Madonna?"
"No, if you could simply make sure nobody disturbs me while
Nobody will disturb you. There's nobody here. They're all home sleeping. It's very late.
It would make me more comfortable."
"Yeah, natürlich." And he goes over to the door. Eventually, as you do that, whatever the right book is doesn't fall out. Or you can't pull it out. Instead, it makes a strange click noise. and the bookshelf just pushes itself forward slightly. And you can move it.
I will move it just enough for me to slip in.
Okay. So, in a quiet room you find yourself in, behind the bookshelf. Very, very cold in here, even colder than the rest of the campus. There's a fresco of the Archangel Michael here. And the beginnings of a schema, a ritual. It's etched into sort of a blackened vellum. And it says, in Latin, "At our command it breathes."
I assume there's no other clues that could help me kind of piece what that could mean in this room.
Well, you look at the vellum here, and you lift it up off of this plaque at the Archangel Michael's feet. And as you lift it up, you look that someone has etched it into the base of the angel. And it says the following. The thaumaturge sews together pieces of canites in order to form a full humanoid, and to grant various capabilities to a new gargoyle. The correspondence of parts to capabilities is laid out in a variety of ancient and arcane medical texts. For example, heart equals courage. Eyes equal perception. Physical beauty is beyond the ritual's capability, sort of written as if someone was etching out notes here.
Mm-hmm.
All gargoyles are slaves. Below it, it says, make a sack from an animal womb. Fill the sack with water. Visit the sack. Let it know its master. Gargoyle may die at any point of this process. When the gargle bursts forth, lick the bodily fluids off its skin. You are its creator.
I'll take the manuscript I was given and reread the note that referenced Gangrel.
Mm-hmm.
Too docile. And just this wave of disgust and hatred comes over Elvira.
Yes. You realize, just from the basic rudimentary way that this is written, that this is magic. This is your clan's magic, taken and twisted and made new, made corrupted. They are creating life from unlife.
Is there maybe parchment and charcoal?
Yes, you definitely carry that with you.
I will copy it with that, transfer it with that.
As you do that, you hear noises coming further down. See, in the furthest corner, there's an extraordinarily narrow archway fit for a single person. And you hear noises coming from down there. It sounds like chains. Iron.
Tuck away the parchment, make sure it is legible.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to activate Vanish again before I move down.
Okay, so Vanish is for like when you want to disappear in front of someone, so you just want to activate Unseen Passage, is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you have spent a bullet point for that, but it's not important. So you activate Unseen Presence, and you start heading down this narrow pathway, and here you see a caravan of chained and staked kindred. Many of them are Nosferatu. They don't see you, but they are all staked.
They will wake up hungry.
As you look them over, you start hearing chanting or something oratory. The blood is a cipher, but only when silence is shaped with meaning and death is held in suspension.
Do I, is there a corridor this is coming from that I could follow?
Further down, yeah. They're sort of just lining a hallway as if they are in line waiting for something. Staked and chained.
I see. In that case, I will back myself into a corner, still unseen, and I will watch and wait.
Okay. You hear sounds of Someone's screaming. You hear sounds of vivisection, desiccation. You hear the most horrific of things.
I must have misunderstood. So I will go investigate. I will eventually follow those noises.
So, as you head down, you see that there is Kindred here who has been divided, his organs removed, being placed into a creation of something that looks like a womb. A woman with long dark hair and sharp features happens to be doing this. To either side of her are sentient gargoyles. They move, they have wings. They're just like the gargoyles you see above the doors. But they, at her command, they breathe. And they stand by her like sentinels. And that's when you see what was taken. The information that was sold by Esteban to these blood witches. It's a Persian folio. It's something torn from the walls of Alamut itself. The key of a thousandfold path. You know this. Fatima has told you about this over and over and over again. It is the ancient path of enlightenment from Hakim himself. It claims to balance blood and judgment. It is the foundation of your clan. Blood and judgment. And she's holding it in her hands that are covered in embryonic fluid and blood, and she's reading aloud from it. And she's talking about that following and collecting the rest of this thousandfold path folio will unlock a universal law of Vitae that will be controlled completely by the Tremere. That everyone who possesses Vitae will be under their control.
Quickly, hearing that and knowing what I know about the thousandfold manifold, is there merit to that, or is it simply a theory, a myth that they're
It is a theory. It is a myth.
Okay. I will continue. I will... A reaction that is not becoming of Elvira. She will ball her hands into a fist to hold herself back as she continues to watch.
As you continue to watch, and you watch this poor man, this Kindred, become an embryo in front of your eyes, a fetus, if you will. It's insane. It's nothing like you've ever been taught. It's nothing like you've ever seen. You will have to ask Fatima about this eventually, whenever she returns. You feel someone behind your back. Someone pulls you back away from the wall, away from the small, narrow corridor archway that you were watching from. And it is Sebastian. He whirls you around and he says, Madonna, you shouldn't be in here.
Kind of grab at his arm and squeeze very, like a little too hard.
Yeah.
And kind of look back and start pushing him out, like going out with him.
He starts begging. He gets on his knees. Madonna, please, you have to leave. These people you don't understand, they are dangerous. I know. Please, you have to leave. Shh. Those monsters, those stone creatures, you can't fight them. I know what you are. I've always known what you are.
Her face is twisted and angry and her eyes are narrow. And she hoists him up by the arm and basically starts to quietly march out with him out towards the library.
And as you do that, as you start marching him out, the world around you shifts. The library becomes a swirling void around you. And you watch the scenery change to the exterior of the college. Dead of winter, dead of night, no light. It's just you and Sebastian here. I told you, Madonna. I know what you are. I know what you are. Because I know what they are. They used to be like me. But they turned themselves into something abominable. It's not a slight on you, Madonna, I promise. What they are is something wrong. They used to be like me. Like my brethren. They killed my brethren. They slaughtered us all. There's so few of us left, and I want to stop them as much as you want to stop them.
Her expression turns from furious to inquisitive as she kind of tilts her head. Like you.
He smiles and he points up to the name of the college. Collegium Hermeticum. I am from something called the Order of Hermes. They used to be from the Order of Hermes as well. But they got greedy. They wanted eternal life. And they did anything they could to take it, including becoming like you. But worse, I think.
So that is their secret.
I want to help you. I know where she's going, that woman. Her name is Anastasia. She was in the Order of Hermes before she was ever like this. She's very old. Older than you and much older than me. I don't know how long it will take you to stop her. I don't know what you'll need, but I want to help you. You cannot be the blade without a shield.
Well, how do you expect to help me?
Give me your blood. Make me loyal to you. We already have a similar goal. It will weaken me, my abilities, slightly. Don't feed me too much, just enough. Whatever you think is enough to make me loyal. And I will fight beside you until you or I die. Whichever comes first, most likely me. It's a joke that we say that us will workers are we're powerful but soft.
She'll nod, and not without a second thought, cut her wrist and tilt it towards his mouth.
And he gets on his knees and says, Pardon, I'm afraid if I begin to drink, I won't stop. So delicious must be what runs through your veins.
She'll nod and do that.
He does feel this heady sensation. He does swoon a little bit and falls back from his knees onto his butt and his back and just sort of lays in the snow here outside of the campus for a minute. I'm sorry that I can't take you to Constantinople the way I took you outside. That's just too far, even without your blood. But I suggest that we get your things, use all that money you've been throwing at this sham of a university, and let's get ourselves to Constantinople,
Yes, I agree.
I'm ready to die. How about you? Well, I guess you already have, haven't you?
I will not meet my final death until she does.
I think that you are even more correct than you know.
I'll extend a hand to help him up after closing my wrist, my wound.
He does, and he sort of pulls you close. Still going to call you Madonna.
Remind me to ask you why on our journey.
I think perhaps you should ask me to explain this instead. I call you Madonna because around you is an aura. It's golden, like the Mother Mary herself. Come. And he begins walking away.
She'll consider this, but that's not the mission right now. That's interesting, but what's she going to do about that? She will follow.
But that is where we are going to end. We'll catch up with Elvira in Constantinople